Hi guys, it's me again. This is Kathy with Single Mom Advice. And another item that some people don't know about, if you live in South Florida or anywhere actually, I know for a fact that one of our large utility companies in Florida, Florida Power and Light, has something called budget billing. Now, as a single mom, it's really helpful to know about how much my bills are going to be each month, right? So what I was running into is that in the summer months when it's really hot outside, your power bills are really high just to keep your house at a nice temperature, keep it nice and cool inside, right? So the bills would get really high right before school started. So I'm trying to buy school supplies or school clothes, sign the kids up for this, that, or the other event, and or sport or what have you. And I got hit with this really high electric bill. And there were other times, of course, when it was lower, but it always seemed to hit the wrong time. So I don't think Lee County Electric has this opportunity, and I'm not for one company or the other, but wherever you're at, find out what options you have for something that similar to what FPL calls budget billing. And I wasn't sure exactly how it works, but I really liked it, and I'll tell you why. They generally, what it works out to be is they look to see what you're spending each month, what you're using each month. And they actually have a place where you can go in and look at your dashboard where they keep track of all of your usage, your bill, that sort of thing. And actually, I think it measures or keeps track of the temperature outside at that time. But what they'll do is let's see, I looked this up. They take the average of the last 12 months, okay? So not last year, but 12 months from whatever this month is, okay? And they look at what you spent, and they take an average of that, okay? At the same time, they're still reading your meter, so they're keeping track of what you're actually using. Now, there's going to be a variance there, right? Like we just talked about. There are times when your bill is low and times when your bill is really high. And they take that difference, and depending on whether it's a plus or a minus, they apply 1/12 of that difference of what you're actually using to your average, and they apply it to that month's bill, and that's what they call the budget billing. And you say, well, how does that work? It actually works out pretty well because it's what you're going to be using, theoretically at least this year. So you have that average point that you're starting with, and then, like I say, if it's more or less, they adjust it by just 1/12 of that difference, and that's the amount you pay. So, for example, my bills would be anywhere between like $70 and $120. So, and based on how many months they were at, which rate, which cost, would determine what my average is. Well, mine comes out to be around 80 something every month. And when you're trying to budget, when you're trying to know how much you're going to have to pay other bills with, or food, or different events, or plan a little bit, it really helps to know that you don't have some humongous bill coming, or that you're waiting for a month where it's cooler out and you don't have to run your air as much to have that little extra, break in your budget. So it's just something that it's a useful tool if you like that sort of thing. I love it. I know about how much my bill is. There's no surprise. It varies, very small amount, so totally worth it. Just thought I'd mention that to you. So if you want to know more about it, it's fpl.com. I don't work for them. I don't get anything from them, but it's an example, and depending on where you are, you may have that as an option as well. So just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.